Thank you, Madam Speaker. This is not a retirement speech. This is a voluntary term limit speech. And I would like to, excuse me. Before I start, is there a Milo here? I guess not. I've looked for you all for a whole year, and I haven't been able to find you. But before I start, I'd really like to first thank my family, my wife Betty, and my children, my daughter Sarah, and my beloved son Andrew, for getting me here this far. After that, I really want a special thank you for the two speakers in my life here, Speaker Paulson and Speaker Upmeyer. You've been a wonderful teacher to me during these last 2 years. And I'm sure the Majority Leader Hagenau will follow well in your steps. I'd also like to thank my wonderful roommates, Sexton and Winchell, even though they made me pay penance for leaving early in a $1 per week. But it's been a much better living situation since then. I want to especially thank my seatmates. I call them my seatmates, David Heaton and Linda Miller. At first I thought they were engaged in Decorah ghost whispering when they were whispering back and forth, but it was medical terms. But I learned a lot from both of you, and I really thank you. It's been very helpful, and it's been wonderful. I've made a lot of friends here, and I was going through the list. And I started going through the list of people who I knew, and I started putting in Gary Wortham, and Baxter, and Kester, and Best, and Maxwell, and Hartzell, and Pettingill, and Monson, and Landon, and Fisher, and Nunn. And you know, I figured out I knew where everybody sat. And I knew something about every single one of you, and that was great. And I loved it. I didn't love my seat here. You know, people used to come here and say, well, how did you get such a good seat in the House? And I'd say to them, well, I was 99th out of 100 in seniority. And they said, oh, fine. And they had no idea what I just said. But to Fry and Bacon and Bowder and Jones and Jorgensen and Wills and Burns and Postkin, Carlson, Sands, Klein, you know, I know where all you are, and I know something a little bit about all of you, and that's been really fun. It's really made my 2 years here wonderful. And my friend the Marines, Holt, Gustafson, Standerson, Salmon, Winchell, and Vanderlyn, it's been wonderful knowing you guys. I want to say something about the Democrats. And I divided the Democrats up into 3 categories. And my first categories are those people who have really helped me in the Justice Committee and who I personally learned a lot. Todd Pritchard and Dave Dawson and Mary Wolf, I really appreciate your help in the past 2 years. It's really been wonderful. Kind of the second class of my Democratic friends are the friends that I really wished would be, I wish we could have developed in a lot better friends. Representative Berry and Olson, who's always good for Iowa. I really wish I'd have gotten to know you better because you've been wonderful throughout my time here. There's a third set of friends that I kind of hesitate to talk about, but I really learned a lot from, and please don't throw anything at me, my Republican friends, but you know, I learned a lot from Art Stay and Bruce Hunter and Mary Masher. And your help to me, and I think to all of us here, have been wonderful throughout my term here, and I hope you continue that up across the aisle as well as within your own groups. Carmen Bowles and your staff have been wonderful. I just love you guys. I do have to say something about James Lynch, who's Cedar Rapids Globe-Gazette person. He's not here, but is he hiding? Well, anyway, when he called me the hippie Republican from Winnebago County, he kind of aligned my 2 favorite groups in Winnebago County. in one sentence. And that was a good thing. And Brianna Fanistel, if I get your name right, you've been wonderful to work with. A couple of other people, Amanda, I don't know where Amanda is, but she and the rest of her staff, both Republican and Democratic staff, have been wonderful to work with. And I hope they can continue in that regard. Some of the outside people that I worked with, Kelly Myers, Susan Camera, that I worked with the most in the Justice Committee, they've been wonderful. And as all of you, they've been really good to work with. I'm trying to make sure that we can go this fast enough so there's no more amendments. But the only person I didn't really talk about is hiding again. And I don't know where Chip Baltimore went. He likes to hide from me sometimes. But I really wish he had told me when he said I could run my first bill that didn't necessarily mean I should pass it. But it made my time much harder when I tried to do that. And so for Chip, I've got a quote. He loved quoting Winston Churchill. I'm not exactly too sure why, but he loved Winston Churchill. And so do I, and I found a quote that really kind of fit him, and it kind of fit a lot of us in the legislature, that you're going to be my friends for life. And Winston Churchill once said, "A man will occasionally stumble over the truth, but most of the time, he will pick himself up and continue on." So think of this in your future in the legislature, and I really appreciate working with you, and you guys have been wonderful to work with. Thank you very much.